Welcome to Letters to My People, the biggest opinions on the smallest channel. Saying the things that your favorite YouTubers wish they could say but can't. Now, today's editorial, we're going to talk about Supasly75's renewed attacks against the Passport Brothers. Yes, just when you thought that the propaganda campaign against the Passport Brothers was over, it's just begun. Now, since Mr. Jap dropped his infamous video attacking the Passport Brothers, Super Sly decided to join in all the fun. We're gonna play some of Super Sly 75's video, and I'll do my commentaries in between. And this one is called "In Defense of Minister Jap versus the Passport Brothers." That infamous laugh.
I honestly thought we had put the passport thing to rest.
Apparently, you and Minister Jap haven't, but go ahead.
You know, I remember when I first critiqued that group, and I caught a lot of flack, lost a bunch of subs.
There's nothing wrong with critiquing or having a different point of view. Granted, we're all not going to agree on everything, but the stuff that you were saying and claiming, it really has no basis in reality.
I didn't give a fuck. Um,
We know you don't.
Shout out to Minister Jap. I fully back and support. Uh,
And you're supporting Minister Jap because you guys are on YouTube purporting all these outrageous claims with no basis in reality, no receipts, nothing, no facts, nothing.
Sentiments regarding the passport, his critiques on the passport guys. I fully support everything he said. I saw nothing wrong with what he said.
Birds of a feather, as they say.
I guess the tone was a little bit too much. Shout out to Taz. Taz was another one back then that
You left out Ringo TV Raw, aka Passport TV. No, his name is Passport Police TV. And you left out Sean James.
went up against the passport bros and did his critiques and took a lot of heat for that. So shout out to us brothers that had the gumption and the gall to kind of call out the BS.
Again, you're entitled to your point of view, but the stuff that you was going on and saying has no basis in fact or reality.
With the passport guys. Now, a couple points before I get to what the real issue is, why everybody got so mad. And once again, those guys got so mad and so into their feelings, they flagged down Jap's stream. Now, I thought the premise was if it did.
Well, as far as Jap stream goes, I mean, yeah, probably was flagged, but some Jap has a history of taking down streams and putting them on his private website. So I'm not sure how true that is, but what I do know is that Jap put up uh, um, a pre-recorded version of his stream. It had a thumbnail of Prince, and I forgot what thumbnail it has now, but it's up there for anybody that wants to see it. And if I'm wrong, then my bad. Let's continue.
Apply, you let it fly. But apparently, it applies to a lot of guys.
Well, yes, I would agree with you there. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. However, what you're doing is accusing the totality of black men that do travel or maybe expats in some of these countries. And what you're doing is very dangerous, bruh. Because you know something? we really don't know who sees these videos or what kind of influence they may have. But what you're doing, bro, is just doing what the Nazis did with the Jews in Germany, spreading propaganda, spreading misinformation that really can't be proven. And you have yet to cite any sources. Now, I went to the travel.gov website. I looked up a few articles, and your accusations regarding brothers who travel engaged in pedophilia activity or child molestation has no basis. Where is it? I mean, there's tons of non-black men that were caught up in child sex trafficking or whatever overseas, but I don't see no black men. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, just because it's not there doesn't mean it's going on, dude. That'd be like if I was to do a study on adultery, and I was to show you people that a couple or some couples that have been happily married and committed for 20 plus years that have never done those things, and you come up and say, well, just because he or she hasn't cheated doesn't mean that they haven't. You haven't proven your argument, man. And the only reason why you get tons and tons of pushback is because the stuff that's coming out your mouth has no basis in fact. And the only reason why you're doing this is because it's a very trending thing. I give you that. And two, you think that just because you have the loudest mouth and the quickest wits in the room, it makes you right. It doesn't make you right. It just makes you look like a fool, bruh.
Okay. Pookies and Ray Rays don't travel, right?
That's inaccurate. Pookies and Ray Rays do travel. They go to the liquor store. They may go to the weed spot. They go to the club. They go to the local watering hole. They go to some chick's house. So they do travel. In recent times, some of them may hop on the Greyhound and go see a chick that lives 2 hours away to go hit it. And that's just for meeting a chick online. But, not too many Pookies and Ray Rays do the online dating thing like that. But they do travel. They just don't go overseas.
According to you guys, Pookies and Ray Rays have felonies and can't get passports, so they can't travel.
I mean, it depends. I mean, when it comes to felonies and traveling, you're headed to a gray area because, I mean, there are people that have, drug charges that are able to travel. There are people that have assault charges that are traveling. So it depends on the severity of your crimes and everything. Obviously, they ain't gonna let somebody that's like a habitual offender travel because that just makes no sense. Now I know that a person that owes back child support is unable to get their passport because the fear from the government is if that person is able to get a passport and they leave the country that they ain't gonna return. So I get that. But some Pookies and Ray Rays can travel.
So it's you good guys, it's you educated guys, it's you guys that did everything by the book that are traveling, right? Basically, you guys are the Chucky dolls. You guys are the good guy dolls. You don't.
Now he's just trolling at this point. So let's just get on through.
of Chucky dolls that go over there to these sex tourism spots to engage in acts that we would deem illegal here in this country.
Engage in what acts? What acts is he talking about?
Okay, some countries it's legal to sleep with a 15-year-old. Some countries it's legal.
Well, now this is where he had this is where Supasly75, this is what he's stating is based in fact. Because yes, in some countries it is illegal to sleep with a 15-year-old. Should you do it though? We'll say your morality varies on that, but that's not a topic I am going to touch.
To sleep with a 14-year-old. So let's not act like there's no Chucky dolls over there.
But if I can go back to the Passport brothers, none of them are saying that they slept with a 15 or 14-year-old. Now I know in some countries, the age of consent is 12. I know in Nigeria it's 11, but not too many Passport brothers are checking for Nigeria.
Going to specific sex tourism spots to engage in acts that we would deem illegal here in this country. It's happening.
But this is where you messed up, Super Sly. What you're saying really has no basis in fact. You can't pull up any arrest records. You can't pull up any articles. Where are you coming up with this information? Now, the only thing I can verify with what you're saying is about the age of consent. Now, in one of my installments on Mr. Research versus International Passport, Mr. Research was talking about how it was nothing to see, like, somebody in their 30s getting head from somebody that was 12 or 13 and everything, and that some of them girls get started early as far as sex, and thus they have a different mindset at like when they're 28 and stuff about sex and sexuality and all that, and all the other different activities that they're involved in as far as their sexuality goes. So, I'm reminded about what Mr. Research said, but then again, Super Sly is trying to throw all this on black men. And this is very dangerous because we already have a target on our backs here in America. So what you're doing is when brothers all of a sudden travel abroad, they're going to have an even bigger target. So as soon as they get off the plane to whatever country they're in, it's just going to be open season on them. And this is what we don't want. We don't want all of a sudden, such and such brother is in this country, and then for no reason, 3 or 4 people of that country just jump him and beat him and accuse him of being a pervert and pedophile and all that other stuff because they've seen some YouTube videos. YouTube videos, mind you, that can't even be substantiated with any thorough, hard-hitting claims. It's just noise. It's just hot air. And this is what we don't want, Super Sly. But you're entitled to your opinion.
We just don't know the numbers yet. So let's not be stupid.
Translation, you can't prove your argument. We just don't know the numbers yet.
Okay? I remember growing up, if you listen to Tom Joyner on the radio, Tom Joyner every year had a cruise to Jamaica, a party cruise. And guess what he would call it? He would call it hedonism. Hedonism.
Well, you know something, Super Sly. It's called branding. He needed a catchy name to get people to go on his cruise. But I guess marketing is a foreign concept to you. No pun intended.
The majority of you Chucky dolls are not going overseas to learn the culture, to learn the language.
Where are you getting your facts from? Just because you see maybe a few brothers posting videos or highlight reels or pictures here and there of them having a good time and everything doesn't mean that they're soaking up any culture in between that. I mean, and the whole purpose of some of these traveling black men in these spaces is to get other black men to travel as well. But you're not thinking about this completely. You just want to throw around accusations that can't be substantiated.
To appreciate the good food, the art, the ambiance of that country.
Bruh. There are plenty of channels on here that show you the food and ambiance of that country. But they also show you that brothers do have options. They don't have to stay in an environment where they're not appreciated. But we understand that you have tunnel vision when it comes to these kind of topics.
The majority of you Chucky dolls that go to sex tourism spots are going just for that, for sex.
No, there's some brothers out there that want a relationship. Granted, you may have some brothers that, just want, to find jump offs or to experience what it's like to bang this chick or that chick, but it's their money. Who we to tell another brother how they should spend their money, what on, and their time? And no, I'm not defending tricking. That's a completely different issue. I mean, I kind of believed, I believe that, brothers, you get over there, get over these countries, you really don't have to trick. All you have to do is just know the language, know some of the customs, have a nice mouthpiece about you when you can get that chick. But I understand